Hello, and welcome to the first chapter chat of the new volunteer year. We'll be talking about topics involved with getting started on the right foot. My name is Kim Ellison, and we want you to feel prepared for the year ahead. So we'll be discussing the chapter calendar, awards, scholarships, the new name, goal planning, tips for officer training, and resources so that you feel prepared as a volunteer. This year we thought we would create a chapter calendar instead of a timeline so that you can have a view of either 1 month or all 12 months coming up. I'm going to share my desktop with you. Right here I just have the September calendar, but you can find the whole document under volunteer resources. This is under the member login. So you'll go to dmaonline.org to log in, and the Volunteer Resources Library can be found at the bottom. The chapter calendar is in PDF form here, but if you would like a Word document so that you can type in your own, we can get that to you as well. Just request it through me. We also have monthly president updates. And we just ask that you complete those since you are, as president, you are the liaison between the chapter and the headquarters. So we would like to also stay up to date on what's happening with your state. Chapter awards are a big topic amongst our volunteers, and we actually ask or suggest that you start preparing for them. And some chapters even set goals based on these awards. The State Achievement Award is a required award for all chapters. Last year it was 5 electronic installments, but this year we cut it down to 4. We got a lot of great feedback, and we just thought evolving, this would be better for everyone. We kept the same due dates, November 1st, January 15th, March 1st, and May 5th. We cut off that last June due date so that you could focus on the other chapter awards if you're interested in completing those. And the last ones listed here are optional. We have the Membership Award, Government Affairs Award. Both of those stayed the same. The criteria did not change. And now we have a Communications Award. This was the newsletter award in the past, but we wanted to emphasize the website. So that was just added onto it, and we changed the name to Communications Award. And of course, the Diamond Award, which requires an application to be considered. And like I said, these are optional. The Diamond Award is only awarded to 1 chapter per year. These can also be found on volunteer resources on the website that I just visited previously. You might also want to mark on your calendars scholarship deadlines coming up. We have $20,000 worth of scholarships that sometimes part of it goes unused, and we want to make sure that members are getting the most from their contributions. We have scholarships for regional meetings, the Healthcare Caterers International program, where you can study abroad and look at other facilities, annual meeting and expo, which is in San Diego next year, as well as the Leadership Institute, which will again be right before annual meeting in San Diego. You might have heard the big news by now. On January 1st, 2012, GMA will become ANFP, the Association of Nutrition and Food Service Professionals. We want the chapters to feel involved with this name change since they are extremely important to get the word out to members and hopefully our biggest proponents. At annual meeting, a group called the Chapter Council met, and these are generally presidents and presidents-elect for chapters, but we had a great discussion, we had great feedback, and we know which direction to go now. In terms of continuing this conversation. The first real deadline of the volunteer year is goals. We do ask that you complete the form found on Volunteer Resources by October 1st and return it to us. However, if your fall meeting is after that, we will accept them whenever you're able to complete it, just as soon as possible, so that we know what we can expect in the year ahead as well. We recommend that you make 2 to 3 for the year and work with your entire board on this, since they are your teammates for the next 12 months. At least. And make sure you create goals that are measurable and achievable. Numbers are always good. And I have a couple examples here on the screen for you if you're stuck on where to go. And if the board agrees, you can also continue the goals from last year if you feel like they're still relevant. But for your team, the rest of the board, let them know what's expected of them, so that no one has any confusion. We have volunteer manuals and the role responsibilities online, and decide amongst yourselves how you will communicate and how regularly, whether you prefer electronic, by phone, weekly, monthly. It's up to you, but make sure this information is clear. And we also recommend your own officer training, whether it's part of the fall meeting or a separate retreat. As I just mentioned, we have role responsibilities available online. Also reiterate important dates and deadlines. Each one may not apply to each volunteer, but it may be good also to have an overall view for everyone. As I mentioned in previous slides, make sure expectations are clear. We do have a lot of resources available, including me and the rest of my staff at Headquarters, and make sure they know what the goals and budgets are, since those go together. And finally, we have lots of resources to help you throughout the year. We always are online, and as well as under the member login, the volunteer resources. The magazine Dietary Manager can help if you have any questions. We do have chapter information in there. There's also a free CE available only for active volunteers. It can be found on the Volunteer Resources webpage on the left-hand side in the gray box. On the right-hand side in the gray box. Other volunteers can also be a great wealth of information for you, especially past presidents and treasurers, since they tend to stay on the board for longer than a year. And again, we are always available at Headquarters. Either you can call us or email us, whichever is most comfortable for you. And to finish up, I want to let you know of some important dates coming up. Chapter bonding is due September 15th if you want to protect your chapter from fraud and embezzlement by volunteers that are involved with the bank account. You do not have to do it through us, but we offer that service to you. Other companies do offer that insurance. The next chapter chat will be September 28th, and we will be discussing recruiting new volunteers. I know everyone's interested in that. Like I mentioned earlier, October 10th is the goal deadline, and October 15th is the deadline for the 990 form, and that's a tax-exempt form from the IRS. So if you have any questions on that, please let me know. That last one I just mentioned is extremely important. The last deadline I want you to keep in mind is November 1st. This is when chapter officers, the budget, and the first installment of the State Achievement Award is due. And of this last one, you can turn them in beforehand if you happen to finish, but we do ask that you turn them in by November 1st. I want to thank you for joining the recording today. If you have any questions about getting started with your chapter, if you're a new volunteer or even a veteran, please contact us. Don't hesitate. We can either find the resource for you if you're not sure where to look, or if we happen to not have it, we can create a new one with you. So we appreciate your time, and we're glad you're on board with us.